So let's get started. So I want to start off with some announcements, of course. If you guys are interested in joining as patrons, I just assigned a really, really cool, interesting apprentice private Discord and assignment for this month. Really, really fun. So if you miss out on a lot of the community challenges, you can join as a patron, and a lot of the challenges that we have on Patreon for apprentices are really similar to the community challenges. So they are really story driven. I always write some kind of brief on the challenge. They are monthly instead of just one or two a year. You also get all of my process videos for all of my personal work, along with the study I did earlier in my after hours stream. You get a process, you get the brush that I used for that, you get a commentary on all the things that I prioritize in a study, what I think of as the most important in portraiture, my process, my thinking, where my mind is when I'm doing a certain study. So you guys get access to all of that information, all of those rewards if you join as an apprentice or as an initiate. And there's a lot of educational material. If you want to join as a watcher, it still does a lot for the community. My goal is 1,000 patrons, and if everyone joined for $1, not only is this community going to stay strong, but it's really going to open up my time. It's really going to open up a lot of space for me to be able to do what I love and keep doing it. I don't take on sponsorships. I don't take on any agencies. I don't do anything of the like at all. So it's all just running off your support. This entire channel is running off what you give back to the community. And I've kept all of my process, all of my critique hours, everything for free. There's no premium membership on my YouTube, and at the end of every year I still release Patreon videos. It's just that everyone has to wait a year for them. Every year I've released a whole batch of the 12 process videos as well as streams from the last year. So I still release everything for free. Nothing is really, there's no amount of knowledge that I hold back or teach less information or take shortcuts in my explanation. I still give it my all, whether or not it's private classes. That's how you can support the community back if you're interested. You can join as a watcher. You can choose how much you want to pledge, and if it's within the reward tier, you'll get your rewards at the end of every month. Thank you to everyone who's joined as a patron. You guys have done so much for me. You have no idea how much you've supported me in the past. And I am aiming for 1,000 patrons. I know it's a very long goal, but I haven't reached it yet. This was my goal last year as well. I haven't reached it. I hope I can reach it by the end of this year. It might be a lot to ask of my community, but it's definitely a good goal. It'll help pull us up and keep the community going strong. There has been a bit of an issue right now, with me dealing with my medical limitations and all of that. I haven't been able to stretch myself so thin, and so I try to give myself to my students that have paid for one-on-one tutoring, and I have to prioritize like that and work with my school before I do any public streams. So in order for me to not stretch myself so thin, I don't have to work so hard, and Patreon is definitely one way for you guys to help me do that in my time. There's also the problem with personal work. I don't have any more time or energy to pursue personal work as well to make up for that deficit and then the limitations my health causes. So that's one way, one very important specific way that you help the community by becoming a patron. And the community challenge. So we just finished the League of Legends. We just finished the villain design challenge. It was an amazing, successful week of villains. I love the villain challenge. I might host it again around Halloween, and then invite something really fun. So I always do some kind of Halloween themed and holidays, kind of between October and December. I always have tons of challenges, really, really fun, colorful stuff. But for this upcoming Halloween, I might have a repeat of the villain challenge. But there is going to be an upcoming challenge. I am currently writing it for you guys. It'll be due on the 19th or 20th of May at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So you guys have a lot over a month to finish your submissions. And it is going to be an action-filled scene. So there's going to be high energy, high movement scenes that I'll be describing that for you guys. It's going to be really, really focused on the narrative, the story, quick kind of motions, and trying to invest a lot of energy into a still image. So something like jumping over rooftops, stealing something of importance, being chased, a Dutch angle, you know, everything that you would invest in an action shot in a movie. That's what the upcoming challenge for this community is going to be like, and it's going to be due on the 20th of June. So I do have to write a story. It isn't up to you. It isn't where you write your own character and build your own world. I will be building the character and writing the world, so it's going to be a specific person that you have to recreate in the drawing. That way, you know, we instead of constantly giving you guys free reign on narratives, I'm also teaching you and preparing you for working within restrictions. Another announcement is Portrait Studio is going to be on sale. Portrait Studio will be using that today. It's going to be on sale from the 1st to the 14th at 50% off after the overhaul update, before the overhaul update, which will raise the price to probably $10 more than it is right now. And if you're having trouble affording it right now, you will after the update. So hold off on buying it. Wait until you can buy it on the sale. This is the first sale of this year. You guys had to have you guys waited 6 months for this sale. The last one was in December. So, and the next sale for that after this one will be in October. So please wait for Portrait Studio if you can. It's going to be on sale. The current price, we keep it up this high because we invest so much resources into it. And again, the community and whatever you guys support goes back towards purchasing new bodies for Portrait Studio, investing the time in order to perfect it. I was doing a complete rework of it. We do that once a year just to make sure everything is streamlined and ergonomic and perfect. And I think that's it for important announcements. I had Patreon, Portrait Studio, and the community critique. And the community challenge. And if you want yourself critiqued, if you want to be part of what we're doing right now, go to Reddit, Istebrak.com, click on the Reddit icon. It'll take you to our Reddit directly. We used to be on Google+, if you guys remember. We're not there anymore. Join and submit your work. It's very, very easy to use Reddit. It's not hard, and you don't have to click here into the scary realm of daily posts and subreddits. I don't know how to deal with Reddit, and I don't need to. It's really, really simple to navigate through our tiny little world here in subreddit, Istebrak. So let's get started on today's critique. And if you guys have questions, feel free to @Istebrak so that you can get the questions answered. And if you guys have and want to repeat something back to me or something, you can write it right there in the chat. Okay, so what we're dealing with here is extremely boring character. And you're supposed to be drawing a male only, but you're a female version of a male only race in some game or something. I don't feel like this jungle Tarzana high athletic kind of character is very convincing right now. So I'm using Portrait Studio to help find another pose for this. So let me see what I have saved. Gorgon, hands outside the cave, thumbnail, White Witch. No, I'm just gonna add a new model, figure, add the female. Okay, so what she's doing, so I'm just gonna have her open on the side there. So open up Portrait Studio and just find a better pose for us. So what's happening here is that she is, so you can choose different axes to focus on, but what's happening is that she's being very commanding. She's got a strong chest, but she honestly looks like she's had one too many burgers. Does not look like someone who is extremely athletic. Looks like someone who is more sitting down, let's just say. And it's not to like kind of push one body type as less than the other. As artists, you know very, very well that an athlete is a very different type of lifestyle. So she doesn't look like she's sitting in front of the TV on the couch watching Supernatural, drinking Mountain Dew, and eating Doritos. She doesn't look like she does that. Well, at least her occupation, it shouldn't look like she does that. Or Game of Thrones, if it's me. She should look like her daily occupation is physical. Her daily occupation is athletic. She looks like she's someone who's constantly running across some kind of field. She's doing a lot of hand labor. She's doing a lot of fighting. If she's not a fighter, she's a farmer. If she's not a farmer, she works with some kind of hard labor, building something. If she's not a builder, and et cetera, et cetera. So for us to really believe she has this really high activity, heroic job, and really any hands-on job is heroic. We need to start showing more assertion in her personality and her body personality. You can't just make an angry face and expect that angry face to carry all of the characterization. That's not how it works. What you need to do is do a lot of it with the body. We speak more with our gestures than we do with our face. Write that back to me. So when we are at a distance and we are acting for a camera, what we are doing is speaking with our bodies. Actors don't waste too much time using their face when they could be using body gestures so that the camera can catch the scene better. Okay, so that means that we are in charge right now. The problem is finding a more believable body confidence. So what's her personality? That's going to be what we do with the body. It's not in the face. So if you're thinking, oh, I'll give her a stern expression and that'll be that, that's not going to be enough. All right, so I'm just trying to find a more strong kind of commanding upper arm gesture. And when you're commanding, your elbow goes high. It doesn't stay low. Okay? So your elbows are higher. So that means that we kind of have to shift the arm this way, keep the elbow high, and then shift the wrist back so that she's pointing. When you're commanding someone, what you're trying to do is enlarge yourself in front of them. So we're raising the head up. It's okay if the joints are in the way. I can just turn off the joints by right click. Hide joints. All right, so you can turn the joints on when you're done. Another thing that we do when we are in a commanding position is spread our legs. Okay, so we're more of a stance, more of that kind of Nazi Inquisition kind of like you're already approaching with a sense of symmetry that is stiff and still, more like a guard. Very stable footwork. You can't be pushed down too much when someone's legs are together. So you have that part right, but you kind of bent the knee a little bit. Don't bend the knee. Lock the knee. There's so many chances for so many jokes with what I'm saying. And I'm just rotating this so that I feel I'm in a good position. Now we have to invest some sass. So she looks great, like right now, she looks great. Honestly, a good guy commander is never a fun role to take on unless you give them some kind of villain's characterization. So if they're a good guy but they're vain, if they're a good guy but they're impatient, so you can bring in some anger in there and then give them something interesting. You can't just be a good guy and be perfect. There has to be something about them that is intriguing, something about them that gives them a little bit of sass. And right now, there are so many things we could do to give her some sass. Okay, so show joints. There is the tilting of the upper body. Or tilting the upper body like that. Bringing that foot down this way. Bringing that foot down that way. Rotating the whole body backward. So you see that she stuck her little ass out and now she's got all that attitude now. Right? So high joints. Then there's another way where you can actually look way more commanding by lowering your head down and looking up. Okay, so she's commanding someone to go that way. Do what I say immediately. Okay, so that's someone that is using not only their commanding voice, but a threat. Okay? And so, yeah, you enlarged her arms. You kind of gave her a wider girth or body. You bent the knee here, which wasn't really doing much. The footwork needs a lot of rendering and anatomy referencing. The tail is a little bit too playful for someone who is saying, go here. What do cats do when they're being threatening? They kind of leave their tail still, or it's really, really low on the ground instead of it being playful. This looks more like a tail wag, and you're kind of just doing that for the aesthetics. Maybe you saw another character design that did this, and so you thought, oh, okay, let me just do it. But it's not helping the image at all. As for her singular asymmetrical hairstyle, this looks really quirky. It looks like something I would give a hippie character healer type of a hairstyle. It's something that is, the hair is down. The hair isn't doing much to make her look like a commander. a commanding officer, someone who is stronger, even if it's just a mom. I would give her a different kind of hairstyle to show that she is the commander of her area. But of course, this is a tribe that that is very like it's a martial tribe. They're very war centered. At least I'm guessing. Or they are a wild tribe, or they're always usually written like that to be based off hunting skills, capturing and looting, or something like that. The typical savage, quote unquote, in character writing. So I wouldn't really do that. As for it being a moment where she's yelling at her child, so I've actually drawn something like that recently, and when I yell at a child, which I do a lot, I would bend them forward so that she's looking at the child. She's bending forward, she's acknowledging that the child is there, and she's commanding over them. That would be something more like, okay, you're just yelling at a child, but if you're yelling at a person, an adult, you're doing a little bit more of the full body stance, and that way you're not really letting your hair down. Letting your hair down is an actual saying meaning relax. And the hair being relaxed is everything opposite of what you're trying to describe with your character. So I'm going to be trying my best to implement all of these changes over here. At the end of the day, it's a boring stance. What I would do is exaggerate. I would really exaggerate all of the features. So the hand can point in another direction, but the arm is still high. She's still making herself bigger, but she is pointing in that direction. Go that way. And then I wouldn't make her hand on the side. I'd make her hand something like a little bit more assertive. Maybe not too much on the wrist. Maybe not so much on that. No head tilting side to side. That all shows some kind of instability in the strength. A straight head or a downward facing head all shows some kind of intimidation. And then we've got, oh, I fucked up the arm really badly. It looked right from our angle, but it was not right. It's because I wasn't moving. Big tip, please move your stuff as you work on it. Okay. I'm doing this all wrong. There we go. Now she's itching her butt. Okay, so she's a bit more Okay, I did it again. I'm being such a halfwit right now. I'm not even trying to find the right axis. There we go. And then this, of course, is not sticking out. It's just there. Then there's the actual angle you're using to show the command. So let's just go with the one that you went for with that not so high wrist. So straight, straight, straight. Everything from shoulder to wrist is all straight. Or no, this is fine. So she's making her pointing. If you want to make her look stronger, I would choose a lower angle. That makes her look more commanding, as you can see. All right. A forward look in the body with a high camera, but looking down also looks pretty commanding. The bent arm wasn't that bad. So I'm just trying to show you. And this is something I also sketched recently, and I just feel like a high camera can show that she's pretty commanding in what she's doing. I'm just trying to find a exact axis to use. There we go. Right, let's just forget about the hand. And then we're raising the field of view, and then we're zooming in, so she looks even more commanding. And then if we do the exact opposite, she looks even more commanding still. Okay? Because she's bigger than us now. I mean, this is the optimal angle to take when you're commanding something. You also got a nice crotch shot there for any pervs. Okay? So we need to start repositioning this. Also, you lost a lot about when it reads as a female. You lost a lot of that. And if you want to make her look more athletic, all you really have to do is just shrink her head. Her body will look bigger. Oopsie. Her body will look much bigger. The more you shrink the head, the more athletic the character will seem. Don't go too small. The bigger the head, the more childlike, which is the more skinny, the more short. Human heads really don't have a lot of space for you to resize them without it being a brain problem. Human heads are all to do with the brain and how big the brain is on average for an adult, the weight of the brain. It's not very malleable in that. And your brain does grow, I think, in size, but that's as you get older. And then at one point it stops growing. So that stopping the growth, that works as an anchor for measurement. A really tall person's head looks small. Ramadan Mubarak to you too, Ahmed. Kul aam wa anta bikhair. And a short person's head looks bigger. So let's make some changes. I might not have time for this piece because it's a portrait. I'm trying to focus on that. So I'm going to just try to implement all the changes I made. You can take a picture of it, a screenshot of your portrait studio, and just bring it in. But typically, what I do is I do that way before I started rendering. And that's really, really important. So I'm trying to bring in some more muscular anatomy. Yeah, she's hairy, but she's a humanoid, so show some muscle, especially if it's a muscle-based character design where the character is a, is an athlete. Come on. No more chonky Doritos on the couch at 5 a.m. binge watching some kind of show. Recently watched Outlander. That's amazing. That's an amazing show. The breasts were very asymmetrical. I'm not sure if you caught that. I'm not sure if you saw it and you weren't sure how to fix it. Alright, this leg needs to go all the way out there. And I'm going to try to make it so that she's looking down. That means ears are lower, but it's a species ear, so it's not going to be very easy for me to change the ears, that it just being the new ear for the species design. I'm going to try to invest a little bit more sternness, not so much of a pout in the mouth. More structure to the cheekbones, thicker neckline. Way more sternness in the eyes. Alright, so what are we changing? We're changing I'm going to keep the bulk of the body. But I'm changing this leg and that arm. The reason why she looks chunky is because all of her joints were fat. So a person who is overweight is a person who has wide wrists, wide ankles, wide, all the points where you're not supposed to be really gaining weight. That person's ate so much that they are, or just was born that way. God bless them all. And they started gaining weight on their wrists. So the first sign really that you're losing weight is usually on your hands and wrists. Those are the areas where your body doesn't like to store fat. It's not a usual spot like triceps or thighs or stomach or cheeks. So ankles were chunky, which showed less athleticism. And areas that were supposed to stay like fat-free, you enlarged. So she can still look like a big girl, but we want to show that she's athletic. Her muscles are toned. Her muscles are tight. I really would completely change. I mean, these changes enough as it is. She looks really relaxed, like telling a kindergartner to go to your cubby. After a little bit more commanding, a little bit more scary. And then I would carry this entire face right here. And see that bone structure I added? Again, you were giving us a chunky face, someone who I would design. I would use that body type as a way to design some academic person. I mean, it's not a coincidence that a lot of fat people are nerds. They're sitting in front, all those Magic the Gathering players are sitting in front of their computers day in, day out, sitting in front of a table, eating snacks. It's a very inactive lifestyle. So I'm not going to give her, and as an artist, you have to use every last one of these tools as a design tool. It's not just us having fun using only one body type or avoiding one body type. There's a role, a writing role, a narrative role for every body type you see. And let me show you what happens when we get rid of, I know you were really invested probably in that braid, but it really made her look a lot more girly and a lot less strong. I know it was a male-only race you were trying to work with, but there's really no point in making a whole different race out of the female that you made for that race type. So if females do live with the men, they will live with the men, and they will also be heroes in their own way. Okay, so the leg, a little bit too relaxed. I'm taking that entire leg, cutting it out. Okay, a little bit more strong. There's a lot you can do with a standing gesture, but at the end of the day, it's just a standing gesture. There's really not much it offers you in characterization, but you have to take advantage of every possible thing that standing gesture offers you that you can use to make things work in that standing gesture. You only have so many opportunities to bring in characterization, and if you don't take them all, you're just going to get more of a boring piece. So that's what yours were. I mean, I wasn't commanded by anything. I'd be like, no, go lick yourself, kitty. You don't tell me what to do. That's mostly because nobody can really tell me what to do. Okay, and so the tail, again, too playful. I would give that tail to like a character that was a little bit more playful. I would not give that tail to a character that is supposed to be stern, commanding. And strong. Trying to straighten this. I'll probably just use liquify. I did what I could to straighten it for now. And then placing that behind. Okay, a little bit more strong, a little bit more scary. You can make it straighter if she just yelled at somebody, or you can make it a little bit more curved. And then we have some really, really large changes coming up. So we have some body type changes. So even again, if she was a female, filter, liquify, we want to enlarge her upper body, show that she is a big girl. Not big girl in that she is humongous and has a lot of weight or some kind of fat storage, but she's a big girl in that her size, the width of her, the density of her bones, everything is strong about her. That this race can have female characters and not be completely girly, limp-wristed characters. They're still strong female characters. There's no such thing as a male-only race, ever. And ever anyone who writes male-only race is a bad writer. Maybe they excommunicate themselves from the other gender, but and they're asexual biologically. There's no such thing as a male-only race. There are mates for everything, and so it adds that beautiful. I mean, this relates a lot to a story I wrote. The men and women don't live together, but they still celebrate when they do come together. So I'm kind of trying to use a bit of both here. Okay. And then we've got the arm, which should go a little bit higher. Which raises those muscles up a little bit higher. Another thing about strength in the face is bone structure in the brow bone. So bringing in more general shadows in that eye socket area will do a lot to help the character look more strong. If this is a furry, I'm very mad at you. My problem with furries is that they use existing styles. I mean, I have no problem with furries as a concept, but I hate how they're using pre-existing styles to pretend that they're artists, or using template cookie cutter styles like Disney style and just do their own thing with them. No, develop your own way of combining human and animal anatomy. Do your own thing. Which part do you like? Don't just draw the cool animals like a white fox or some ridiculous thing. Use animals that are, you know, more difficult to combine. But it has everything to do with identity and all that snowflakey stuff. So I guess they're not really trying to create cool new animal human concept crossovers or humanoids. I guess it is just an identity game. But if this is a furry, shame. Ding, ding, ding. Shame. No, I wasn't tricked. I knew it was a possibility that it might be a furry. No, it's from an existing game, and I like seeing, I mean, one of the assignments that I do is, one of the challenges that I like to do is humanoids. Of course, we're going to cross over animal and human anatomy once in a while. There's a tasteful way to do it. Don't depend too much on Disney style to pull it off. Do your own thing. Invent your own way of drawing eyes. Do your own thing with the structure of the body. I'm taking some creative liberties here to make the eyes look more feminine. And so a lot of that masculine is coming back in. But I'm still using feminine cheekbones, which are the circular cheekbones here. Not the inner cheekbones that go like that for men. They have a very defined feminine shape. So there's only so much you're expected to do for a trope like this when it comes to the portrait. And one thing you can do is give the lips a little bit more fullness. See that? Instantly feminine. The thin lip is more masculine, so you do have to do a little bit of that gender management here to make it look more feminine. Full lips are more feminine. Men who have full lips look cute. Men who don't have full lips look manly. These are the norms. These are the tropes. If you don't agree with them, the door is over there. And then we have a little bit of brightness. And then we're sculpting the sides. And again, I'm not sure how it works, but I'm bringing in a little bit more anatomy. That looks really cool. Instead of giving her a strong cheekbone, even though she is a strong woman, I'm going to give her a circular chin. Not a square chin. Again, this is how we're managing muscular and masculine with feminine and beautiful. Okay, because everything is so bulky, a cool little curl somewhere here. Not too much, not like a change in species, but something a little bit more interesting to break that square thing you're doing there. If you don't have a good color for the background, the rule is use gray. Don't be a hero. Just use gray. Why does it look of a certain color? I think I have a filter on my screen right now because it does not look gray to me. It looks beige. Might be a trick of the eye. Okay, and then we have what's left, some blocking. So instead of blending with a soft brush, if you're drawing a masculine character, blend with a blocking. This is my blocking brush for my sketching set. I'm using this like all the time nowadays. And I'm trying to just block in basic muscular structure. A little bit of that chest area here in between the breasts for the chest bone. This whole video is going to get flagged. When they get flagged, they don't get taken down, but they do not get advertisements on them. Not that I make anything off of YouTube. I think I make like $10 off of YouTube a month because my videos are too long. Yeah, I don't really care about that. I'm not here for the revenue and the ad. Whatever comes from YouTube is a plus. So I don't really care. That's why I didn't get rid of the nipples. Now I'm just blending. So see, I blocked in the majority of the changes in this in the body type. And now I'm going to use soft brush for anywhere that is fleshy, for anywhere that is kind of fatty, which is the stomach area, even if you have abs. Okay, so we are making sure that the stomach area is part of the torso that looks away from the light. So that means that radially drops into the shadow. And now everything that I'm doing here on out is for the sake of the light source. That part of the belly button looks up, catches some light, as well as the lower part of the stomach. A little bit of the diaphragm catches some light. I recommend some kind of corset or something, but because you're kind of making her look vulnerable, but if she is naked, then she's naked. Okay, and we have some really, really high collarbones. Okay, nice and high, nice and powerful. And then I'm just going to get rid of the nipples, not because I'm censoring or anything, but because I need to sculpt around them. The entire upper part of the breast catches some light. And then there's asymmetry there, which I have to correct. The breasts are still pretty asymmetrical. And then we're moving on down towards the rest of the body. Zooming out, we are shading the shadow of the torso on the rest of the body. By the way, your colors here are all wrong. You're using a really bad color, a color that just doesn't seem like something in the forest or some people living in the forest would come across. For character design, flat top down light, always darken the body the lower you go. And only the outermost parts that stick out get the highlighter value. So you'll see the before here. It looks very normal, like an average body type. Right here, it feels like more to do with the characters. So are they a furry? Yeah, her knees look bent, definitely. Locked knees tend to not catch as much light, so we're locking the knees this way and this way. The legs are all a bit off. Yeah, they are a furry? No? Oh. Okay. So these are the sweeping changes that I'm going to make now. I'm going to shrink the entire leg area. So it's going to be Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a giant race. I'm not sure about the story where this is coming from. Alright, so we're shrinking the legs a little bit to make her look more athletic and large at the top. We can even shrink her head. And we just continue adding to that athletic touch in the body. So more and more, she's looking more and more athletic. Alright, and this is a step, so I'm going to just close this so you can see it properly. This is all a step in the right direction. And then for that leg bend problem, all you got to do is make sure the knees point inward. Right? The legs look more straight. Did I sound excited when I asked if it was a is it a furry? Is it, guys? And then let me show you that sass I was talking about. So you can do a little bit of that for the sass. Look at that sass. I like this one. You can make it point in the other direction. Or you can make her dance. I like this one. And that means that the diaphragm pushes up against the breast, and this breast is just a little bit, not higher, a little bit more pushed up. And you can feel free to go crazy with the kind of stomach they have. That's the kind of stuff you can adjust. But if you want to make the body look a little bit more strong. High elbow, thin wrist. And then because this leg is all the way in the back, I would raise it up just a little bit. Just a little bit more. Damn it. God damn you, Photoshop. Why? Why do you do these things? Who the hell told you? Who the hell recommended they change transform tool? Who's the dumbass that thought this was a good idea? Who's the goddamn dumbass? Really? I'm just trying to till. I'm just trying to. Anyway. Hey, we're Photoshop. We're gonna change what doesn't need to be changed so that we have a new Photoshop to promote. Took us 10 years to hear that we don't want the layer to change when we Control Z. All right. So a little bit more athletic, a lot more athletic. Do you guys remember my Photoshop developer voice? How did it go, that impression I do? Hey guys, it's Photoshop chiming in here for another update. Yeah, that was it. Center your character. Have some presentation courtesy, please. Don't just be willy-nilly pushing my character off to the side. Present with a sense of politeness. Give us the character in the middle so we don't have to go looking for it on the other side of the canvas. And I'm using some radial shading here to create some contrast wherever we have a pit or a crevice or the downward part of any shape so that it looks like a character in light. This arm would be catching a lot of light. It was like Mickey Mouse voice. Oh yeah, watch Disney by Adobe. or watch Mac or Apple by Adobe. Alright, shadow under the knees. And honestly, honest to God, you can go and make her shove those hips all the way on the other side. Okay. Just enough that it doesn't look like a dance move. But you can do a little bit more with it. Cancel. I would do something else with the tail. At least not let it sit in the crotch like that. Maybe a little bit of a hanging cloth here and there. Okay. And then some more musculature everywhere else. And then a high ponytail or something up there would also really, really help make the character look more athletic. It just looks like they're getting their hair out of their way. And if you really cut it down, then you get that athletic touch. I would use that long hair for the female that has that kind of body type, because that's considered the Venus, which is the beautiful, which is the elf. And then men are the exact opposite, with small heads, big upper bodies, smaller legs. Long hair is cool if you want to make them look like a long elvish kind of elegance, but all athletes kind of get their hair out of the way. And then a woman is just in between. You still have the curve, but you have a larger upper body curve. You do have the curve, and that's what we're doing here. And it's a very specific trope. Tomboy looks like a boy. That's the point. And if you were designing it, that's what you would do. And I'm just going to burn in some proper core shadows here, just so that we're representing a more believable light source. And why does it seem like it is the wrong color? Huh. I think it is. I think it is pink, or else the color it chooses would be a completely different value. I'm not sure. Okay, so brighter background, merge down. I would make the arm have a bit more foreshortening, so pointing a little bit further, but it's your choice. Any questions at all? Before? After? Oh, she's a little bit stably standing. Before, a little bit more character. Before, it was just a basic furry, to be honest. It didn't really have much happening. And that's okay, yeah, you can have long hair if you're an athlete. Just give us an athletic hairstyle. If she had a braid, it would still look super athletic. But having that long, pretty braid here, I don't know, unless you have a ton more and they use it as a weapon and they flick it around. It just looks like a leisure, you know, but if you're fighting, that's something someone can grab. I don't know, I really like active functional realism. Even in movies, I question whether or not that design makes sense. I question it. I'm a really bad person to watch movies with. I get really, really critical. Basic furry. Furry after 6 months at LA Fitness. Any questions at all? At Istebrak, if you have any questions. The pointy arm looks short instead of foreshortened. Yeah, foreshortening means that you're stacking cylinders on each other, so you have more of, right? And then you have the point, whereas here it's all beside each other, and then it's just short. Aw, what a cute little hand pointing. It just looks like it's attached to a big character. And he's just pointing that way. He's like, yeah, it's that way. Aw, I totally feel like drawing now. Don't mind me, I'm just going to do a little sketch. He's probably just really bored. And he's pointing the traveler in the right direction. You can go this way. Wait, no, now it's Eeyore. I don't know why I made him look so tired. Maybe because I'm tired. I just basically drew an ogre. Maybe he has hair on his back going all the way forward. No, he just looks fucking weird. Anyway, would you show a feminine, masculine body type? How would you show a feminine, masculine body type? The curve is the way to do it. That is how you do it. Okay, so if we were to make her look more feminine, it's in the curve. So feminine, masculine doesn't mean that their biological hormone identity changed. Okay? There's a reason why transgender people go for hormone therapy. It changes the way your body stores weight. So this plus this makes her look more feminine. Decreasing that shoulder length or shoulder strength makes her look a bit more feminine. Obviously breast size, but that's an easy one, and that shouldn't be one you depend on. Athletes tend to have smaller breasts. Okay, and then just thinner lower calf area will make her look more feminine. Oh, she got tilted a little bit. Before, after. Okay, and then that's the complete before. Kind of just like a chill, average. Or this one is like saying, oh, go there, eat. Go there, slave. And guess what I'm going to do now? That's going to really complete this drawing. Look at that. Now it really looks like a guard. All right, she's holding it with her wrist. And she's just guarding something. Couple armor, maybe body paint moving across. Some Kratos body armor. Alright, that's a really bad color. Let's choose another color. Oh my god, what is up with color mode nowadays? Seriously. Let's try it on multiply. Excuse me. Anyway, fuck it. Wait, did this furry get identified as trans? No? So any questions at all? Can only elvish men can have long hair? No. Anyone can have any size hair. Just make sure that any length hair, just make sure that the style is respective to their role, or else you're just a bad artist, designer thingy. You're just writing bad. Would a short tail be more practical? If it's not in the genetics of the species, you have to make the tail long enough. But a short tail is a completely different kind of cat, right? A short tail is a lynx, a long tail is a lion. So find whatever it is that's required of your design from your instructor or whoever it is that's directing this furry commission, and do the appropriate size. Just make sure you're representing it right. So the top of the head, I would love to see some more form on the top there. Just using a pure white right now to make it look like the character is responding to the light source above. Look at that. Okay, so the light is coming from above, drowning the top. We have some light on their ears, this way and that way. We got light on the head. We got light on the hair. All right, that's really fun, really nice way to quickly and easily and efficiently represent the light as coming from above. That woke you guys up. See that? Really, really fun way to do it without overusing your brush strokes. See, before it was flat, not so much light source. After, damn, baby girl, I like the way the sun hits you. And I'm straight. I'm just letting you guys know that. I have been leaguing way too much with way too many people that make me say things that I don't even mean. Alright. Before, a completely different character. After. You got blinded? I'm sorry, Annie. Severed in battle or docked to not give the enemy something to grab. Ooh, very nice idea, Joe. It's mad how she's an actual believable character built without clothes or ornaments. Yeah. Imagine if you added ornaments. Imagine if you added some cool ass ornaments now. Imagine some shoulder pads, man. I'm having way too much fun, which is good. Imagine some shoulder pads. You got the leather works right over there. You got some, I love Jungle Girls. I love drawing them. You got titties coming out, and that's okay. Let them show. But then you've got some waist armor, maybe some leather. All right, maybe you do have some kind of modesty happening. Maybe they understand that in this culture, and they're not savages. And then you have some cool, like, neck armor, because they know, like, you know, somebody will kill you by cutting at your neck. And then they've got some forearm armor, also some more strap work, something very homemade, DIY. Okay, and then we've got something interesting, something cultural. So maybe these are these little ties here are linked to their god or something. Maybe some ankle pieces. Looks like a cool ass character. Something unique could be I don't know. I would really have to sit here for a while to think of something unique. But maybe they do have, maybe if she's a ceremonial guard, she'll have something like more of ceremonial, not ceremonial, but more of like a commanding kind of cloth armor, or just cloth hanging, a banner. Kind of like instead of having a banner, they have it hanging on the character. If it is a guard, usually guards are all wearing their NPC little forehead armor. And then maybe something along the side. That would be something really super cool. Something like a fake jaw, but hanging off the ears to protect something. Some scarring to show battle, you know, some fucked up little cuts in the ears. Did you see how this was only possible because it came after the body type? It's the body type is what's important here. Okay? Some people don't like modesty. Some people are sick in the head. I'm joking. This was really fun critique today. I had a lot of fun. Thank you for the person who posted this. Your public execution has been to the benefit of the community. And I really love when you guys post your stuff. Post it up. It will get critiqued. Most likely you'll get ripped to shreds. But that's the point, is that you are going to improve. You are going to be better than you were yesterday. Way better. Way higher. And that's it. Thank you all for coming. If you want to join in on this critique community, go to istebrak.com and click on the Reddit icon to join. The community challenge will be up soon as I have some time and energy to edit the brief and post it up there. Portrait Studio sale will be starting the 31st of May at midnight to June 14th, 2019. It'll be one of the only sales we have this year. The next one is in October. If you want a copy of Portrait Studio, which is what I use today, you can use it for all kinds of other stuff. You can bring in environment models. You can bring in basic form studies to help you study. It's a drafting tool for artists as well as an educational tool. And that will be on sale June 1st to the 14th. Any purchases that you make go straight to us and help support this channel, helps keep all of this going. Everything that we did today is because of the support of my patrons and because of you guys. So any support back means more of whatever today was for you. And yep, if you want to support on Patreon, you can as an apprentice or something of a lower tier, just to send money our way, send support our way, but not really have to be responsible for doing homework. You can also always join as an apprentice and not do any of the homework, which is a lot of apprentices are doing that. They just want to support and then watch this, the process videos that I upload every month, as well as the streams, which is cool. But if you do want a little bit of extra challenges, more homework, the challenge for this month is so effing awesome. I couldn't wait to assign it. It's a Colossus creature design. And I posted the brief today, and I cannot wait to see what my apprentices whip up. It's going to be amazing. Thank you everyone for coming. I'll see you guys on Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Bye everyone.